All right, what's good, ladies and gents, boys, girls, whatever the hell you identify as? Today is February 24th, 2026. I believe today is Tuesday. It is Tuesday. Took two trades today. One break even, which I took on all my funded accounts, and then I took a long later on in the day on my evals on Top Step and ended up making $1,500 across all those five accounts. But it's evals, so who really gives a fuck, right? Anyways, coming into this morning, I was pretty neutral. Why? Because we had a whole bunch of stack equity up here and all this LR down here as well. So pretty much my targets were previous day high, previous day low. We have previous day high all the way up here, and then our new week opening gap right here. All right, let me go ahead and mark that out for you guys. You guys aren't confused, and I'm just gonna go through everything just one by one. So it's gonna be a little bit slow of a trade recap, but it is what it is. I want you guys to get my full understanding and thought process as to what the fuck I was thinking the entire session. So market open, I was like, okay, we had a 5-minute inversion up here, and we were just dumping prior to market open, and then let's go to like a minute two. So I guess I have the wrong thing marked out. That's lovely. So right as market open, we ended up dumping and hitting this hourly gap. At this point in time, ES came down and was edging previous day low. So I believe there was a possible like inversion that may have happened. If this got inversed without ES taking that low, it most likely would have failed. So we have to be cautious of the liquidity. All of a sudden, boom, we get a resweep of this low inside of this hourly gap. ES comes down and takes out previous day low. Awesome. We have a previous day low SMT. Can move this right here. Okay, here's our previous day low S&T. Awesome. This is exactly what I wanted to see if I wanted to be bullish on the day. We have all this generation of liquidity right here. Now on the 5-minute, there is unfilled gaps, right? We have the unfilled 5-minute right here. And I believe there was also an unfilled 15-minute as well, just above it. Here was unfilled 15-minute. So with that being said, at this point in time, I'm like, okay, cool. If we can get a good inversion, I'll go ahead and enter. And we ended up creating this 3-minute bearish for value gap right here. I was like, okay, if this gets entered V-shaped recovery, I'll enter this and I'll target these two highs up here. If you want, you can leave runners towards previous day high, but I mean, this is plenty for me, right? This would have been something like trade idea, something like this. Relative equal highs, 102 points, completely fine with me. And then my stop loss would be like somewhere down here. Okay. So just over a 1-to-1 RR. However, all of a sudden we just get this fucking Drake candle out of nowhere. And actually we had an internal SMT as well to go with this. As you can see, these lows ended up getting taken out. We'll come over on ES, and this low right here at 936 did not end up getting taken out. So 936 got took out, 936 on ES didn't get taken out. We ended up getting this inversion. This is actually a beautiful entry if you guys went ahead and entered off this. So much bullish momentum, and we closed above this, so this should be an order block. If you guys want, you guys can put your stop loss underneath that order block. Either target these unfilled gaps or just go break even at the gaps and target all this liquidity resting above. Whatever you guys want. However, I faded this. I was waiting for the 3 minutes to close. We didn't end up getting the closure right here. We kind of edged it, and I was like, okay, so I'll just wait for a continuation model. We have draws higher and higher and higher. It is what it is, right? What ended up going on? Well, we ended up just bull rushing through fucking everything at this point in time. So I mean, I guess you could have went ahead and entered off this 5-minute. Now this was just way too premium for me. I would want to see like another 5-minute open up and look for like a continuation model somewhere in there, and that is exactly what I did. We ended up getting a 5-minute for value gap that opened up right here. So at this point in time, I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and wait for this 5-minute gap. Let's make this blue. So I was like, okay, cool. If we can get a tap into this gap, then I'll go ahead and enter. We also had EQ, the range that I believe got tapped as well. Here is EQ right here. Let's go ahead and see. Now, I would have took this 1 minute if it got the close. It didn't end up getting the close. Okay, we're kind of chopping around. And then we have a lower time frame AMD model, accumulation, manipulation down into equilibrium. And then we got this 1 minute inversion. And this was my break-even trade. I entered off this 1 minute inversion right here originally on me funded. Everything's posted on my Instagram story, all my P&Ls and everything. So go check that out. Instagram link in the bio. And yeah, this was basically my trade idea, something like this. I went break even at the unfilled 5-minute that got formed, which was right here. I was originally going to go break even at the unfilled 3-minute, which was up here. However, I didn't realize the 5-minute opened up. So as soon as I realized that, I went break even. As you can see, we hit the 5-minute and got stopped out at break even. So we ended up continuing higher and higher and higher. It would have been a break-even trade regardless, because after we hit the 3 minute, we ended up retracing. So I wasn't mad about this. I was like, okay, whatever. So that was my final like actual trade on my Fundays. At this point in time, I'm thinking, okay, if we can get something like this, so we're just generating a whole bunch of LRO on the lower time frame, right? If we can get something like this, resweep of this low, or maybe even SMT, ES wants to come take it out, whatever, I'll go ahead and take an inversion somewhere in that like manipulation leg down. We didn't end up getting that. We ended up leaving all the LR. There was this 1 minute right here. I didn't necessarily like it due to the fact that we had a whole bunch of LR, but I mean, I guess if you can take it, it's just like a B-rated setup right here, B+. Clear draw is higher, just, I mean, you have LR resting at your stop. And as you can see, it ended up playing out perfectly. So at this point in time, I'm like, okay. This also ended up tapping into a 15 minute as well for that trade idea. So at this point in time, I'm like, okay, what are we doing now? Well, we end up creating a 15-minute bullish or value gap. And this is where I was just throwing shots on my fucking evals. I was like, okay, we have this 15-minute gap, 5-minute intermediate lows. We're still edging this. I was pretty confident that we were going to go to this. We were basically just accumulating. All of a sudden, we get manipulation lower. And I believe there was a 30-second somewhere in here. I didn't enter off the 30-second. I waited for more confirmation. So I waited for this right here for us to close above this, basically a CISD break of structure. Entered off this candle right here, and I was targeting just this new week opening gap. Stops were somewhere down here, and as you can see, we got chopped around. No break even point. It was either win or lose in that situation, do or die, and we ended up doing so. Yeah, that was my day on the charts today. Let me show you guys my P&L real quick on TradeSinger. I gotta log in. $5, $16, whatever, right? So made $88 on my funded accounts today and $1,500 across 5 accounts on Top Step, but they were evaluations. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, go ahead and leave them in the comments. That was my entire thought process for today. But yeah, favorite trade of the day was probably this 1 minute gap. But like I said, I was waiting for the 3 minute and we just didn't get the close. So that being said, I will catch y'all boys later on today.